Hello, good night. Welcome to another edition of Conversation with Rick Burke. Defeated, Nandalal gets desperate. Defeated, Anil Nandall gets desperate. We will come to that. Share the link, everyone. Share the link far and wide. Get into your guys' groups. Share the link. I'll be back in 60 seconds. Let's get a couple of thousand people here. I'll respond to Anil Nandal's statement tonight. Share the link. I'll be back in 60 seconds. So welcome back to Conversation with Rick Burke. Um, Good night to all of you watching from New York. Good night to you watching from um, on the west coast of the United States, California, etc., on the east coast here, New Jersey, wherever, Connecticut, Philadelphia. Ensure you guys are voting. Those states that have early voting, please make sure that you are going out to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. I'll be in Georgia next week. Remember, I'll be in Georgia next week rallying the folks. All right, so let me get straight to it. Keep sharing the link, everybody. If you are watching me from Facebook, like and follow the pages you're watching from. If you're watching me from YouTube, ensure that you subscribe to my Facebook page. Come on, share the link, everybody. Take some time, share the link, everybody. Let's get some likes, some hearts, some of the emojis, some thumbs up, some whatever. So I'm going to deal with Anil Nandall again tonight because let me say this. I will answer him word for word every time he attacks me because I am not some Afro-Guyanese person in Guyana where they feel empowered over that their racist supremacist policies makes Afro-Guyanese subjects of PPP racists. I'm not the type. And I would tell Anil Nandall that, hey, listen, let's go. Let's go. So I responded to his letter last night. Now, let me tell you what. The United States government has rebuffed him. They've snubbed him. They took his letters and threw it in the garbage. Literally threw it in the garbage. Because what he's doing is attacking people and begging the US government to stop people from responding to him because he thinks he's an ethnic supremacist. So tonight, he went on his Facebook page, did a live, cursed me out, made up all sorts of nonsense. He said that my father banned me from the Amstel police station. When I lived in the police station, I couldn't walk around the compound because of some sexual advance I made. That's all they could say about black people, right? Black people are rapists. Black people thief money. He said, I took money from some business people in Puerto Rico. When I lived on West Coast, I was a child. That is what he does not know. I was a child. Then he said, I ran away from Guyana and couldn't come back. I've been to Guyana 4 times since I left Guyana, or 3 or 4 times since I left Guyana. Then he said, President Desmond Hoy, who's a father to me, I stole $19,000 from Desmond Hoy draw. Desmond Hoy doesn't work with money. Desmond Hoy does not deal with money. Anybody who works with us, he doesn't deal with money. Mrs. Hoy deals with money. He doesn't deal with money. No time, ever. But he wants to talk, that is how they talk about black people. Black people are thieves. And Anil Nandall is a rank racist. But let us listen to what he said tonight on his show, and I will respond word for word.
On behalf of the government of Guyana to the Attorney General of the United States and to the U.S. State Department in respect of Burke. Those letters were written because Burke, as he regularly does, makes all manner of wild, baseless allegations against the government. I don't think anybody
The Attorney General of Guyana just said he wrote the letter to the State Department and the Attorney General of the United States because Burke makes wild accusations against the government. He admitted himself. He admitted it himself. Burke made wild accusations against the government. So, any government official in Guyana can say anything about anybody who's Afro-Guyanese, and Black people dare not respond. Because if we respond, it's wild. It's wild. And they're going to write the US government. Well, let me tell Anil Nandall this tonight. I am not afraid of the Attorney General of the United States. The Attorney General of the United States can't shut me up. The Attorney General of the United States can arrest me because I'm responding to you, a racist and a bigot. You're such a coward. Face me like a man. Don't run to the US Attorney General hiding like a little wuss. You got a lot of mouth. Face me like a man. The US Attorney General can't do me anything. The US Attorney General is there to make sure people ensure the laws of the United States are enforced and upheld. You are the criminal. So Merrick Garland, the United States Attorney General, might more be interested in you. And I think you might come in for some surprises. So everybody just heard Anil Nandall himself. So everything he said in the letter is all made up. We know that. But he himself said he wrote the letter because Bork makes wild accusations against the government. And everything I say about the PP government is factual. I can back it up. Let's listen on. Matter of fact, let's hear what he said again.
Of Guyana and several other leading members of the government. I had cause to make public two letters that I wrote on behalf of the government of Guyana to the Attorney General of the United States and to the US State Department in respect of Bork. Those letters were written because Bork, as he regularly does, makes all manner of wild, baseless allegations against the government. I don't think anybody any sensible person takes Bork seriously. You can't be sensible and take Bork seriously. If you listen to any 1 minute of what he says, you see somebody who requires professional intervention of a mental and psychological type.
So why are you answering me, Anil Nandall? You're admitting that that you're crazy. This guy is such a jackass. He's the Attorney General of a country. I am in New York. He said that nobody takes me seriously, but he is taking the time to respond to me. And he's taking the time to write the United States government to complain for me. And nobody must take Bork seriously. Are you kidding me? Who's the fool here? Who's the fool here? Anil Nandall? You just can't deal with me, so you got to run to the United States government for help. But I can continue to deal with you because I'm not afraid of the United States government. I'm not breaking the law. I'm responding to racist bigot who sits down perched like an overgrown trench crapo every Tuesday and attacks people and attack me. And I will respond to you. You can't intimidate me. So let me correct the first thing. He didn't write no letter to the US government because he won't complain. They were summoned by the United States government to answer under what authority they can send a policeman in the United States to my home. That's it. That's what the United States government told me. One, and the United States government was right. Because this is Anil Nandalal's letter, opening letter to the United States State Department. We are instructed that on Monday, July 22nd, 2024, Mr. Zulfikar Ali, Deputy Chief of Mission, Embassy of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana in Washington, was invited to meet with you, with your good self, at the State Department of the United States of America in Washington, D.C. At that meeting, you informed Mr. Ali that Mr. Burke, Mr. Rickford Burke, a Guyanese residing in Brooklyn, lodged a formal complaint with the Federal Bureau of Investigations alleging that the government of Guyana is harassing and persecuting him, or words to that effect. Mr. Ali was further informed that Mr. Burke also alleged in the report that the government of Guyana sent officers of the Guyana Police Force to his home in Brooklyn, New York, to cause him harm. Please be informed that the government of Guyana refutes these allegations as absolutely false and wholly unfounded. But then he goes on to say, yes, they sent a policeman to my house in the same letter. So who need mental, who need a checkup? So Zulfikar Ali told the State Department, hey boy, and Hami is the Attorney General and the Police Commissioner. And he, Zulfikar Ali, undertook to get the Attorney General to respond. In addition to that, the government of Guyana filed 3 complaints. Anil Nandall, he's such a wuss. He wants to sit perched on his platform every week and attack Afro-Guyanese and attack me. But he can't deal with the response. He got to run to the US government to complain. And then he sits there and lies to make his supporters feel that he's so important. And you know what? Every single complaint that he filed, the US government ignored. Because they know it's bullshit. Everybody sees that he's abusing his office as Attorney General. The United States government knows that Anil Nandall is under investigation for sitting with a group of his East Indian friends in Queens and saying that I should be killed. So and this was reported to the police. So everything he's doing is retaliatory. If he had any sense, he would stop talking. If he had any sense, he would stop writing letters. Because every letter he writes is a piece of evidence. Every letter he writes is a piece of evidence. So I know the PVP guys want to feel big that, oh, Anil Nandall write a letter to the US Attorney General. Well, Anil, you write this letter since July. This is October. Merrick Garland has not taken away my lunch. The Attorney General did not come to take away my fruits on my dining table. I still got my breakfast every morning. So I don't know what your letters are doing, buddy, other than making you look like a jackass and an embarrassment to the legal fraternity and a weak clown. Because no Attorney General in no country is going to write the US government, begging US government to help you deal with one man who speaks out against your racism and who responds to your bigotry. But let's continue to listen to him.
So I don't look at Burke And I don't think sensible people do. But he keeps writing these things, and the US State Department raised it with one of our officials at the embassy. And we responded. I see the Kool-Aid gang on the social media and Bork himself contending that
Now, stick a pin. Everybody Google what type of human beings people refer to or associate with Kool-Aid. In America, black people. So here you are, you have this louse head, PPP racist, he head full of lice, in a cockroach, referring to Afro-Guyanese as Kool-Aid gang. When is somebody in the PPP going to tell this man, shut up? Because every time he opens his mouth, he's embarrassing the PPP and he's confirming that he and his party are racist. The Kool-Aid gang. He's getting his cue from the KKK. A man who is louse-infected, a louse-infected racist, calling black people Kool-Aid gang. Well, let's listen.
we, Guyana government, is accused of some transnational repression and was summoned to the State Department. Nothing of that sort. We have made several complaints about Bork in the past to the US government and various agencies.
So what? You're such a fool. I mean, if I was an attorney general, I would be so embarrassed to make that statement. We have made so many complaints about Bork in the past. He just said Bork is a madman. Bork need mental checkup. Nobody listens to Bork. Bork is this. He don't listen to Bork. Bork is... So why are you occupying all your time being so obsessed with a man who nobody listens to? Nobody listens to Bork. He's a madman. He writes all of these things and he makes them up. But yet still, the United States government sent to call your ambassador to explain something that this madman that nobody listens to said. I mean, who made this man Attorney General of Guyana? It's pretty embarrassing. Pretty embarrassing. No wonder the CCJ had to sanction him. Pretty embarrassing. Well, let's go on.
And we made another complaint, as we are entitled to do.
So let me stop there.
And on this occasion,
so let me tell you what Nandalal did. Let me bring him off the screen for a minute. He wrote the State Department separately from the letter that he sent to the Justice Department. And let me tell you why. In the State Department letter, he denied all allegations. And before that, he stated that the State Department put to them that the allegation Bork made is that they sent a policeman to his house and that they're committing transnational repression crimes. Then he said they denied all of those allegations, right? But then he went on to say, in order to serve a summons on Mr. Bork, a duly authorized officer of the Guyana Police Force traveled to New York and retained the services of a process servicer, the assistant of a lawyer here, assistant to a lawyer, and served each document duly authorized to serve documents and served it on Mr. Burke. Mr. Burke accepted the documents on his step. I mean, the guy, you can't make these things up. Because everybody saw the video that Barry Jack they released where I walked past them. But Anil Nandalal, he can't help lying. He can't help lying. He thinks that he could lie to the Justice Department. He does not know, like I said before, the FBI investigated this matter before to see whether or not these guys were breaking the law. And they concluded that they broke the law. So I don't know what he's complaining for, because the same Justice Department investigated them. Well, here what happened now. He wrote a completely separate letter to the U.S. Attorney General. You know why? He cannot tell the United States Attorney General this. He can't put in no letter to the United States Attorney General that in order to serve a summons on Mr. Burke, a duly authorized police officer traveled to New York to his home. So he wrote a completely different letter to the Attorney General. And here we complain about the Attorney General now. And by the way, the United States Attorney General, Merrick Garland, was a Court of Appeal judge who was nominated by President Obama to be on the Supreme Court, and the Republicans blocked him. Dear Attorney General, dear Mr. Garland, here we start the letter now. Merrick Garland, Attorney General. Merrick Garland, yeah. Merrick Garland, he went to school together. This lousehead racist. He and Garland went to school together. Anyway, this is what the lousehead racist said. The government and citizens of Guyana once again wish to register their deep concern in respect to Rickford Burke. Rickford Burke is so important to the lives of the PPP, Anil Nandalal and the PPP members. The government and citizens of Guyana once again wish to register their deep concerns in respect to Rickford Burke, a Guyanese national permanently living in the United States. So here what's going on. They have their people telling them all sorts of things, running all sorts of rumor, and based on that, they're acting. Anyway, who continues to use the social media platform of his Facebook page to launch almost daily attacks against the government and citizens of Guyana. Every day people attack President Biden. Lousehead racist, lousehead bigot, Anil Nandalal. Every day people attack the United States government. Every day. Who the hell are you? And the PPP racists, that nobody must attack you guys. Who the hell are you guys that you can attack me and I must respond? He uses the Facebook page to launch almost daily attacks against the government and citizens of Guyana with a clear and evident intention to excite racial hostility among the different races and classes of citizens. To excite racial hostility among the different races and classes. I see 16,000, sorry, it's just changed to 17,202 watching the thing. Thank you guys for tuning in. With the clear, so I just attack the government and the citizens, all of the citizens of Guyana, this one man attacking, with a clear intention to excite racial hostility among the different races and classes of the citizenry, incite ethnic strife, encourage criminal violence. Here this louse-head bigot, this cockroach, Rickford Burke, every day inciting criminal violence in Guyana. Oh my God, Rickford Burke is inciting criminal violence. Please, America, stop him, stop him. That's Nandalal. He waving the white flag. Oh, America, Garland, stop him. What a joker. With the clear intention to incite ethnic strife, encourage criminal violence, cause public disorder, and reign of terror across the length and breadth of Guyana. Oh, the boy Rickford Burke inciting a reign of terror all across Guyana. People are running helter-skelter because Burke is on Facebook raining down a reign of terror throughout the length and breadth of Guyana, up into the Pacarinas, across the Savannah and the Rupununi, all across the East Coast and West Coast, and up the hills in Linden. Burke is inciting a reign of terror. There is Armageddon in Guyana. This is the Attorney General. Now you tell me, anybody, government official in their right mind, who doesn't see Gaza in Guyana will throw this in the trash. He went on. He's telling the United States Attorney General this. These publications by Mr. Burke constitute several criminal offenses within the state of Guyana. He just told the Attorney General Burke live in America. He didn't use the word American. He said Burke live in America. These publications by Burke constitute crimes in Guyana. Yeah. Yeah. You know what too? Some of the utterances of TV hosts and commentators and elected officials are deemed crimes in Russia. They did crimes in Russia, North Korea, and Iran. As a matter of fact, Russia put out a wanted bulletin for the former ambassador of the United States because he condemned the invasion of Ukraine. So Anil Nandall, a 2B3 hustler, a crackerjack lawyer, a cockroach lawyer, and a lousehead bigot, is writing the United States Attorney General to say that Burke's utterances, which are guaranteed by the United States Constitution, are a crime in Guyana. They cause immeasurable damage to the character and they cause immeasurable damage to the character and reputation of government officials, public officials, and whosoever he decides to choose to subject of his vicious, vitriolic rantings. Most important, they're intended to cause irreparable harm and damage to race relations in Guyana. This is the same man who just said that the black people talking on social media are a Kool-Aid gang. And later on, he went on to say, I am like a baboon in heat. An East Indian racist is calling a black man a baboon, but he's writing to the Attorney General of the United States to say that me responding to him is causing grave damage to race relations. He head must be full of louse because the louse eating out the brain. Because he's demonstrating to Merrick Garland that he's a racist. But he's a low-rate third world PPP Banana Republic Attorney General. Merrick Garland has far more important things to do. But let us continue. Share the link, everybody. We want to demonstrate who these PPP people are. Let us go back to his comments.
We explained why Bork is before the courts of Guyana, and that it has nothing to do with the government having any type of relationship with Bork. Is that Bork was engaged, or perhaps still engaged, in an extortion scheme, and he's being charged by the law enforcement agencies and being prosecuted.
Pause.
To give his comment on the article, very easy.
So, Jason, is there any question you have for Mr.
Wait. From time to time, emerging, we mention about Mr. Work. Yeah. Can you tell me who Mr. Work is? I didn't hear it correct. Alright, that's why Mr. Darwin said. That's not it. Have you ever met this person? Never did. Spoke to him? I think you're overseas. Never did. Look, working for Darwin, I wasn't given access to certain things. I was still confused.
So the money you are in your possession, right?
Yeah.
And the money Mr. Gary had in his possession, did you extort that from Mr. Marvin?
Hell no. Mrs. Man, oh come on. Mr. Marvin is paying his way from day down to get himself out. I was only his only.
Up to now, Anil Nandalal spent 1 hour on his Facebook page ranting and raving like a hyena. He can't answer those questions yet. You notice he has not responded to one thing. They think that they can smear black people because we criticize and expose their racism. He can't answer that. Anil Nandalal, I know you're watching. Deal with the facts and evidence, not your cockamamie lawyer letter will you send to the State Department that they throw in the trash. And you're such a fool. I mean, you yourself just say, we've written to the United States government several times about Rickford Burke. The United States government must say, oh, this guy Rickford Burke is very popular. Keep sharing the link, everybody. Good. Let's continue to listen to him. Oh, he's such a smart lawyer.
By the judicial authorities of this land. And we made that clear to the State Department. But of course, the Kool-Aid gang and Bork himself wants to put a different spin on things, but they can go ahead. I have neither the time nor the energy.
He has neither the time or the energy, but he's on his Facebook page responding. Who was this guy? He's so full of himself. Oh, I have neither the time or the energy to respond to Rickford Burke. You know, I'm the Attorney General of Guyana. Yeah, but you're on your Facebook page responding. I mean, by now the entire country must think that he's a joker. But let's continue to listen because he smears me. Listen, fabricates a whole barrage of stuff that he thinks is salacious.
Rickford Bork. But let me ask. I'm going to put three questions out here quickly. And since he's spending so much time, I'm told, on me, and last night apparently he was for 2 hours cussing me on Facebook and so on.
No, Anil, you're not that important. 1 hour, 13 minutes, but go ahead.
Let me ask three questions of Bork, and perhaps those of you who listen to him can go and ask him. One, let him explain why Desmond Hoyt dismissed him as his personal assistant when Mr. Hoyt was opposition leader in the early 90s, and what became of the $19,000 that was in Mr. Hoyt's desk drawer. Not a lot of money, just 19,000 Guyana dollars. Let Bork explain why Mr. Hoyt dismissed him and what happened to the $19,000 that was in Mr. Hoyt's drawer, in his desk drawer. As I said, not a large sum, 19,000 Guyana dollars. That's question number one.
Mr. Hoyt probably gave it to your mother, Anil Nandalal, for services rendered. Anil Nandalal? I don't know. I wasn't there. But perhaps he gave it to your mother for services rendered. You might as well check to see if Desmond Hoyt is your father. But let me go on to see. First of all, he's obviously making that up because Desmond Hoyt don't deal with money, left money, and draw and all that nonsense. Second, Mr. Hoyt never fired me. They like to come up with these things and which they state as fact and then build their different lies around it. Everybody in Guyana knows that the darling of Mr. Hoyt's whole presidency, post-presidency, was Refuting. When I left Guyana to come and study, Mr. Hoyt threw a big, massive farewell for me. Mr. Hoyt even went on to make sure that I continue to work for him from New York. Mr. Hoyt wrote all of my recommendations for school. And I would like to read one to him. I should have walked with it. I'm going to post it tomorrow. And then Mr. Hoyt and Stanley Ming flew up to New York for my wedding. So Anil Nandalal, try again. Try again. Because that one, you look so stupid. You look too stupid. You look so stupid. Mr. Hoyt there and go and say, trying to bring up the... The man is such a buffoon. But since you want to win, Mr. Hoyt, $19,000 gone, check and see if that's the way your mother charged you for the services she rendered. Next question.
Question number two. Let him explain why, since in the early 90s, just after Mr. Hoyt dismissed him, why did he leave Guyana and not return? Why businessmen, several of them, in particular in the Parika area, dealing with lumber, why were they looking for him? And why, when he left Guyana during the mid-90s, he never returned? And thirdly,
so, I mean, poor guy. Poor Anil Nandalal. Poor cockroach. Poor lousehead bigot. He doesn't know what to do with himself. First of all, when I lived on the West Coast, I was a child. I was a high school child. from 3 or whatever. I probably went to Puerto Rico a couple of times with my parents. With my parents. So, Anil, you need to do your research. And also, I left Guyana in 92. I went back to Guyana 4 times, straight up to 98. I helped run the campaign for the people. I don't get your facts right. You're a bad liar. I know lawyers do research, but you're a lousy lawyer. No wonder you're a cockroach lawyer. You're a cockroach. Do your research. Myself and Sean Cambridge went back to Guyana and we ran the public relations campaign for the PNC in 1997. I was with Mr. White during the negotiations for the Herdman-Ston Accord. Anil Nandall. Get your facts right. I also went back to Guyana when my dad died. But my dad died while I was on vacation in Guyana. That was the second time I went back. Get your facts. I mean, these guys come and want to make up stuff so that they could throw red meat and feed this nonsense to their supporters so that he could look big. Hey, he insulting Burke and smearing Burke. Pure hogwash. Try again. And let's listen to him now.
Let him explain why his father, as an officer at the Namstel police station, who was resident in the police station, had to expel him, Burke, as a young man, from the precincts of the station. Let him explain what the allegation was in relation to advances made to a male police officer, junior police officer, in that police station. Those 3 questions will occupy him for the rest of the month.
First of all, my dad was never stationed at the Namstel police station. Again, it is so embarrassing that this charlatan, this cockroach lawyer, is the attorney general of a country. I have never seen a lawyer make up stuff like this. It is embarrassing. I mean, if you want to make up stuff, I mean, you at least come close to something. My dad was never stationed at the Namstel. We never lived at the Namstel police station. Let me tell you what happened. Somebody told him that I lived in the Namstel. So he decided to make up a story because he heard me say that I lived in police compounds. So he assumed because I lived at the Namstel, my dad was stationed at the Namstel police station, and so he make up this story around it. So Anil Nandall, go back to the drawing board. My dad never lived at the Namstel police, was never stationed at the Namstel police station. I never lived at the Namstel station. And again, when I was on the West Coast, I was a school child. But since you want to insinuate and try to smear me, how a man like you, who got to borrow sperms from another man to impregnate your wife, will question my manhood? That's the question for you, Anil Nandall. How a man, a winseed man like you, who got to borrow sperms from another man to impregnate your wife, gonna question another man's manhood? You are a mango. I'll move on from there. But let me say this. What we're seeing here is an attorney general who has become unhinged. He's confused. He's going crazy. He's now desperate. He admitted he writing the US government since he came into power about me. Nothing happened. I'm still here. I'm still here telling him that he's a win seed. I'm still here telling him that he had a borrow sperm to impregnate his wife. What kind of man is that? And you want to question my... Somebody just texted me and said, when they go low, you go high. No, when they go low, kick them in the face. That's the philosophy I believe in. When they go low, stamp them in the face. Eric Holder said that. The former Attorney General of the United States actually said that. But you see, Anil Nandall can just talk stuff. When I talk stuff, I can back it up. I have evidence. Let's go to some evidence about who Anil Nandall really is. This is who Anil Nandall is. Headline. Read it. July 24th, 2015, Kaichor News. There you go. Kaichor News. Former Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandall was yesterday categorically denied any involvement in the assassination of political activist Courtney Cameron and said that an ex-bodyguard of his, who police have detained, was hired several days after Cameron's death. And that turned out to be a lie. I spoke to the police. They killed the man. And then he said, oh, no, I hired this man as a bodyguard after Cameron died. There you go. Anil Nandall, ex-bodyguard detained. And Anil Nandall himself was investigated for this murder. New evidence just came to light a couple of days ago. Allegedly fingers him to the murder. There are allegations that he shot his guard and killed the guard because the guard was talking about his involvement in the last elections. I don't know. I wasn't there. But that was the rumor. But if he can spread lies and smear me, to attempt to smear me, I can say what the rumor is by him. Anil Nandall, did you kill your guard, your driver? Did you and your bodyguard kill Courtney Cameron? Because there you go. There's more. Let me tell you guys who Anil Nandall is. This charlatan posing as Attorney General of Guyana, attacking me and making up stuff about me. I don't have to make it up. I am going to the facts. This is the Stabrook News. Guyana Stabrook News, the most prominent newspaper in Guyana. April 27, 2017. Anil Nandall charged with fraud. $2 million of law books he stole. Anil Nandall is a thief. Former Attorney General Anil Nandall was today charged with fraudulently converting $2 million in law reports that were the property of the Ministry of Legal Affairs of Government of Guyana. The charge against Nandalal, who was earlier arrested by the Special Organized Crime Unit, was read in the courtroom by Magistrate Fabio Azur, who subsequently granted him his release on his own reconnaissance. Implicated in murder. Now he's a thief, committed fraud, And he was never exonerated, never. The DPP dropped the charges because he went to every court in Guyana. Every court in Guyana to have the charges thrown out. And the court said there's enough evidence to charge him. There's more about his criminal history. I don't have time to go through them all. Let me just pull up one more. There we go, Kaitro News. November 2nd, 2014. Death threats by Anil Nandall. Kaitro News has received a number of threats, a direct result of orchestrated plans to shut down Kaitro News. The plot became evident more shockingly glaring when Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandall told a senior Kaitro News reporter during a telephone call that people with weapons would attack the offices of the Kaitro News. He said he could send gunmen to Kaitro News. And the man taped him. Let's see if we could pull up that tape. I don't have to make up stuff. Bear with me. I was trying to find the recording. I have the recording somewhere, but I'll play it another day. I know I have the recording. Matter of fact, let me check something here. I may have this recording. Let's see. In my files right here. Okay, I don't have it here, but I have the recording. I'm going to play it another day. So, this is the man who's attacking me and writing the U.S. Attorney General. As if the U.S. Attorney General is going to take away my breakfast tomorrow morning. He has a sordid, nasty criminal history, from allegedly being involved in murder, to fraud, to terrorism, threatening a reporter to send gunmen. This is the Attorney General of Guyana. But let me say this to Anil Nandall as I close. You writing the U.S. Attorney General would not save you from justice for the murder of Courtney Comey. You writing the Attorney General and hiding behind the Attorney General's suit would not save you from us demanding justice and accountability for your atrocities, for your racism. We will still continue to hold you accountable. No attorney general could stop myself and CGID from demanding justice for the murder of Courtney Cumming. No letter that you write will intimidate us. No name calling, no fabrication will stop us from demanding accountability. It will haunt you every day, everywhere you go. We want justice for Courtney Cumming and all the other black men that you guys killed. Merrick Garland can't save you when the evidence come out, and you understand it's going to come out soon. The ancestors will haunt you. But there's one other thing. I want to listen. I want the audience to hear what he said.
You will hear him cussing me and bellowing like a baboon in heat from now till Mountain.
He just referred to the black social media class as the Kool-Aid gang, a KKK racist term. Now he calling me a black man a baboon. And he's Indian racist from the people. We call him a black man a baboon. A man who's infested with lice. He's a lice-infested cockroach, calling a black man a baboon, an East Indian racist. I never see a baboon with lice. I see your type with lice, Anil Nandall. Just know that this black man don't tolerate bigotry. This black man will always stand up to you. This black man will follow you to the gates of hell whenever you attack him. This black man will fight you to the gates of wherever to get justice for Courtney Cumming. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.